Okay, welcome to the University of Pittsburgh public debate. Today's resolution will be social and mass media improve the quality of democratic decision making. Our debaters today will be on the affirmative, Julie Sepek, Nick Ravati, and on the negative, TJ Pascucci and Shane Hands. We would like to start our debate with Nick Ravati. Nick, you may take the floor.
As Jay Griffiths once said, a functional media is as important to democratic freedom as voting. The ability to communicate to the masses is essential to a great society, and it is seen in the form of social and mass media in our own society. So I would like to support the resolution result. Social and mass media improve the quality of democratic decision making. Before I start, I would like to define some terms. Merriam-Webster defines social media as, quote, forms of electronic communication through which users create online communities to share information, ideas, personal messages, and other content, end quote. Merriam-Webster also defines mass media as a medium of communication as newspapers, radio, or television that is designed to reach the mass of the people. The University of Oregon has defined democratic decision-making as all who are affected by a given decision have the right to participate in the making of that said decision. The final term I would like to define is improve. We have defined it as to make better and such that the good outweighs the bad. I will support my position with three contentions. My first contention being that social and mass media inform the public of current events and issues that are going on or have happened. My second contention being that social and mass media provide a platform for leaders and their constituents to communicate on. And my third contention being that social and mass media positively influence the majority of people so the quality of democratic decision-making would improve. My first contention is that social and mass media inform the public of current events and issues that are currently going on or have happened in the past. Think about how often we encounter mass media in our daily lives, whether it's articles we read on our phones, the newspaper, people talking on the radio, or when you go home and watch the news. According to the New York Times, Americans spend about 10 hours and 39 minutes every day getting media electronically, and 5 of those hours are spent watching television. According to Statista.com, 15% of respondents in a poll were not confident in their ability to interpret fake news. That's only 15%, and I'm just saying that because I'm assuming my opposition would bring up the point that fake news would be a rampant issue. Getting our news from mass media is not a new concept either. An example of the early use of mass media for the use of our politicians is the former President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's famous fireside chats. His fireside chats were a series of 30 evening radio conversations given between 1933 and 1944. Roosevelt spoke with familiarity to millions of Americans about the promulgation of the Emergency Banking Act in response to the banking crisis, the recession, New Deal initiatives, and the course of World War II. On the radio, he was able to quell rumors and explain his policies. His tone and demeanor communicated self-assurance during times of despair and uncertainty. These speeches helped keep Americans informed of the current events and issues that were going on. Moving on to social media, some examples are Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and other similar apps that we can access from our phones or computers. According to Statista.com, social media users reached over 1.96 billion people worldwide in 2016. People can read, tweet, and post information about current events on their social media accounts, so they're almost always being influenced by it. An example of social media improving democratic decision-making outside of the United States of America is the movement known as the Arab Spring, which started in late 2010. Arab citizens revolted and used social media as a communication tool, and a collective war effort was organized via social media instead of in the war room. Facebook, Twitter, and other major social media played a key role in the movement of Egyptian and Tunisian activists in particular. According to a New York Times article written by David Kirkpatrick, 9 out of 10 Egyptians and Tunisians responded to a call that they used Facebook to organize protests and spread information. More than 15 countries were affected, and 4 rulers were removed from power. Social media allowed the people to organize protests against their oppressors and get new, better leaders in charge. The use of social media platforms more than doubled in Arab countries during these protests. As of April 5, 2011, the amount of Facebook users in the Arab world world surpassed 27.7 million people. This information leads me to believe that the general public is well informed on the current issues in our society and other societies and is more than capable of influencing democratic decisions. My second contention is that social media gives the public a platform to communicate their opinions to people in power. Twitter has shown to give our current president, Donald Trump, a way of communicating to the American people without using the news media as the medium. Trump has over 26 million followers who read and comment on his 34,500 tweets. Whether or not they agree with him, they're still engaging on that cosmopolitan platform of political dialogue. Users can spread information to others in the push of a button. Many leaders take advice from their constituents because they feel it's the right thing to do or because they want to get reelected. Without the people, politicians possess no true power. A politician cannot run strictly on what he or she wants to do. They have to run as a representative of their constituents. We, the people, possess the power to prove we know what's best. My third contention is that social and mass media positively influences the majority of people, so the quality of democratic decision-making would improve. Social media lets people express their feelings and create bonds with people from around the world. Being able to talk to people from around the world lets us become more educated about other cultures. Being exposed to these different cultures gives us more points of view to look from, which can help us improve decision-making. If we use social mass media to educate ourselves on different political and cultural viewpoints, our decisions will improve because we've made a more educated assessment. In conclusion, I would like to reaffirm my position stating the resolution resolve, or supporting the resolution resolve. Social and mass media improve the quality of democratic decision-making. I have 3 reasons for supporting it, my first contention being that social and mass media inform the public of current events and issues that are going on, my second contention being that social and mass media give the public a platform to communicate their opinions to people in power on, and my third contention being that social and mass media positively influence the majority of people. Thank you for listening. I now stand by for cross-examination.